All right, so we had a question in the call about this particular song, and when you've got things that are in the key, things from outside the key. So what I want to do really, really quick is just go through a couple of. We'll go through the first 8 bars of this song because it does a whole bunch of stuff. So Cornell's original question was, if you have, for example, an E flat major 7, what do you do, with that particular chord? Because E flat major 7 can exist in multiple different places. So if we look at, for example, we've got our major key here. See, we've got, actually let me do this real quick. Right here we've got an E flat major 7. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I've got an E flat major 7 here in the key of, hold on, sorry about this. That'll be a bit better. E flat major 7 here, but it also exists in the key of E flat major 7 right here. So for example, in the key of B flat, you're going to have the notes B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A, and B flat. So if you start on E flat major, you're going to have E flat, F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E flat, which is going to be E flat Lydian, versus in this key right here, the E flat major 7, as a 1 chord, you're just going to have a regular E flat major chord through there. So which one do you use, and how can you figure this stuff out? Now in this particular case, they've actually made it a little bit easy for us because we've got a key signature over here. And this chart's notoriously hard to read, but there's 3 flats there, which means we're in the key of E flat. And if we go back to over here, we've got this E flat major here. Any of the chords from this particular chord scale right here, any chords that we find, that's a bit rough, sorry. Any chords we find from this chord scale in this chart over here, we can very, very easily just apply, the different kind of scales and all the stuff that we talk about in the guide at the modes and all that kind of stuff. So let's go through each of the chords in this first 8 bars, see if they exist within the E flat major chord scale. Now this first chord, the E flat major 7, does that exist in the key of E flat? Absolutely, it's that very first chord right there. What about this B flat minor 7 here? Does that exist within this key? We've got a B flat chord, but it's a B flat 7, not a B flat minor. So this one doesn't exist there. What about this E flat dominant 7 there, the E flat 7? No, that doesn't exist. We've got an E flat major 7, but no E flat 7. What about this A flat major 7? Does that exist in the key of E flat? Absolutely. Got it right there. So this one is, firmly within the key of E flat. So that's very handy for us. That means we can just use the notes of E flat major starting on the A flat note there, which, if you're thinking in terms of modes and things, if you want to play more stuff over that, would be an A flat Lydian. Now, what about this next chord here, this A flat minor 7? We know we can't have an A flat minor 7 because we already have an A flat major 7 in this key. What about a D flat 7? Does that exist in this key? No, we've got a D minor 7 flat 5, but no D flat 7. And then obviously this E flat, that's in the key, same as this one up here. What about the next chord, C minor 7? Does that exist? Absolutely, we've got that right there. So that one exists. Oh, so this one and that one, can we keep going? Does this F minor exist in the key of E flat major? Absolutely, it's right there. Okay, excellent. What about this B flat 7 chord right here? Yes, it exists right there. Perfect. So these 4 chords here are all very firmly within the key of E flat. What about this last 4 bars here? This G minor, does the G minor exist in this particular key? Absolutely, it's right there. That one exists. What about this C7 right here? This one doesn't exist. We've got a C minor 7 in the key of E flat. This one really is just a way to get to this chord here though. So while a C7 might not legitimately exist, it still very much points towards that chord. This is what's called a secondary dominant. This, we're getting, almost like a 5-to-1 kind of relationship here. It's not actually a 5 chord, and this isn't actually a 1 chord. This is a 2 chord because, we're in E flat. It's definitely a 2 chord, but we're, transitioning from this chord to that one. It's a very strong resolution. But these 2 chords both exist in the key of E flat, which is very, very handy for us. They're the same as these ones up here. Okay, so that's really handy. So we can just play like, E flat major scale over that. We can play A flat Lydian over that if we want. Again, E flat major, C minor scale. We can play an F Dorian over this, a B flat mix, a Lydian over that. G Phrygian is going to work really well over this. and then these two are the same as these ones over here. But what about these other chords here? These, actually, we'll change colors. Do these ones in this color. What about, that's not right. That one will work. What about these chords here? Where do these chords come from in this particular case? Well, there's only one place where these chords can actually exist together, and that's actually in the key of A flat major. So if we go over here, you'll see that over here we have B flat minor 7 and E flat 7 here. So these two chords exist in the key of A flat major, which makes sense, right? Because we're actually resolving to this A flat major. So it's almost like we're very, very temporarily changing keys to this A flat. This is something called tonicization. So we've got the tonic, which is obviously E flat in this case, and we're going to this A flat major chord. We're not changing keys though. We're not like legitimately going to the key of A flat and then staying in the key of A flat. It's not like, at the end of, Living on a Prayer where it goes up a minor third or whatever it is. That's an actual key change. This is something that's a bit more subtle, something called tonicization. So we're treating this like it's the tonic of a new key, even though it's not. So what can you play over these particular chords? Well, if we're in the key of A flat major and you come across a B flat minor, you can play a B flat Dorian sound, again, just taken straight from Ultimate Guide to the Modes. And same over this E flat 7 chord, we can play an E flat Mixolydian over that, and it's going to work really, really well. And then you could potentially just play an A flat major scale over this. That's going to be totally fine as well. The Lydian thing would work as well. This is, much of a muchness. It comes down to your own personal preference, your own personal tastes, all that kind of thing. But what about what about these two chords over here? These ones get a little bit interesting as well. Now, again, this is almost like a 2 chord and a 5 chord in the key of A flat, and it's a minor 7 going to a dominant 7. This is the same thing. Minor 7, dominant 7. From the B flat to an E flat is a fourth. Like, B flat to E flat is going up a fourth. A flat to D flat, again, is going up a fourth around the circle, if you will. Pardon me. And if this is the case, if we've got a kind of 2 and a 5 there, what is our 1 chord? It's actually, okay, this one is going to be a little bit tricky because this can be written in multiple ways. You can think about it in terms of G flat or F sharp, even though they're the same exact thing. So this one's actually written in F sharp major, but you can think about it in terms of G flat major as well. So actually what I might do, just to make things as clear as possible, there it is. Oh, that's tiny. Oh, that's not right either. Okay, we're going to have to do it down here. Where is it? So we can think in terms of G flat major. Can I make that bigger? There must be a way. There we go. So this one, if I do this, I can treat this as A flat minor 7. So G sharp minor 7, A flat minor 7, the same exact thing, just spelled in different ways. And then also D flat 7, again, same as C sharp 7, just a different name for the same thing. But that's where this is coming from. It's coming from the key of G flat major. Now, this is the interesting part, is what is the relationship between G flat major and E flat major? Just on the surface, it doesn't seem like there's much going on. But think about this: what is the relative minor of G flat major? If G flat is the major, what is the minor? It actually is E flat minor, right? We have same thing here: G flat, A flat, B flat, C flat, D flat, E flat minor, and then this is the same as G flat major. G flat. Oh man, my handwriting is terrible on computers. That's gonna have to do. Oh, whoops. Yeah, that works, right? So G flat major, same as E flat minor. They're relative keys. Now, this is where things get a little bit more interesting again, because E flat major and E flat minor share the same root note, and so they're what's known as parallel chords. They share the same root note, but not the same anything else, right? So one's going to be major, one's going to be minor, E flat major and E flat minor. So when we look at this this Misty chart here, it's almost like we've temporarily gone into the key of E flat minor just for a tiny little second there, and then we go straight back to the major here. So again, you could just use the plain old A flat Dorian, D flat Mixolydian if you wanted to use, you know, modes over this particular thing. But this is a great kind of chord sequence to kind of show you how you can kind of get around different, I guess, tonalities. We've got a little bit of tonicization here. We've got a bit of sneaky movement to the parallel minor here. But for the most part, most of the chords are in the key of E flat. We've got this E flat here, this A flat, these 4 chords here, and these 3 chords here. I've got a tiny little bit of something, something, just to get us to that F minor chord there. But this is what you can do when you kind of get your head around all these different chords and keys and all that kind of stuff. It can be a little bit intimidating, especially, you know, if this is stuff that is new to you. The not the trick makes it sound like it's easy. It's not easy necessarily, but it is. This is one of those things that once you understand it, once you get it, things kind of click, and then you're like, oh, it's just that. Even though, you know, you've been staring at the same thing the whole time. But in order to get to that point, you kind of have to, you know, go through the kind of toil of being like, oh, wait, what major, relative, minor, blah, 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 all this kind of stuff. But yeah, the point of this particular one is, you know, if you've got, you know, either major 7 chords or minor 7 chords, they can come from multiple different places. So for example, we've got minor chords here, this F minor 7 chord and this G minor 7 chord. They're coming from the same basic place. They're both coming from E flat. Where's my E flat? Here it is, F minor and G minor, but you'd play different things over them. You'd play F Dorian over this one and G Phrygian over that one. Now, if you're not totally 100% understanding this at the moment, that's totally fine. This is definitely more of an advanced kind of chordal analysis on this particular tune. You wouldn't necessarily need to know all this stuff to play a good, functional, solid bass line over this song. Like, you wouldn't need to know where any of these chords necessarily came from at all, but it can be helpful if, you know, you do want to, you know, make things a bit more your own, give it a bit more of your own personal flair, play some extra notes, maybe play some fills and all that kind of stuff. So it is, you know, it's nice to know, but not necessarily 100% essential to know. But that being said, it can be super helpful if you do want to take that extra step further. Don't worry if this is over your head at the moment, though. Keep working through the material. It'll once you kind of, you know, raise your bass IQ kind of organically, this stuff will start to make a whole lot more sense if it's not making 100% sense at the moment. But hopefully this is helpful, at least to the, you know, to those of you who are at that point where you want to start understanding this stuff a bit more. Any questions at all? As always, I'm free to answer them. Just let me know. I'll talk to you soon.